If your cabinets are also overflowing with plastic bags, you should try this simple hack. I use a plastic bag holder to keep all my bags organized in the kitchen. Instead of stuffing plastic bags into cabinets or leaving them hanging around, I keep them all in one place. No more pulling out the whole pile and stuffing it back in again. Besides keeping the kitchen tidy, it also saves space and makes the bags cleaner and easier to organize. I just fold the bags and place them back inside, and the kitchen instantly stays much more organized. If you don't have a proper bag holder, you can reuse a tissue refill bag like I did. These bags already have an opening at the bottom, so it's super easy to pull out one plastic bag at a time. I just cut one side at the top to stuff the plastic bags inside. Then I hang it on the wall or cabinet side near the kitchen for easy access. Whenever I need one, I simply pull from the bottom and grab a single bag without making a mess. I love this idea because it reuses something I already had and keeps the kitchen much tidier without spending extra money. The most useful thing in my kitchen has to be this multi-tier plastic storage rack, especially for kitchens that don't have built-in drawers. Ever since I started using this rack, everything has been separated into different levels. So the kitchen looks much tidier and things are way easier to find. The first drawer is for plastic wrap, aluminum foil, and zip bags. The second drawer holds dry foods like noodles, seasoning packets, and snacks. The bottom drawer is where I store cereal, nuts, and S. What I love most is that everything has its own place now, so I don't have to dig through the whole kitchen while cooking anymore. It's just a simple plastic rack, but it makes the space feel so much cleaner and much easier to keep organized. I repurposed a couple of old file holders to organize all my cutting boards and container lids inside the cabinet. By storing each item upright in its own section, everything instantly looks much neater. I usually dedicate one side to plastic container lids while the other side is used to organize cutting boards by size. It helps everything stay more ventilated, especially cutting boards after washing, so they dry faster and don't trap that damp smell. I really like this setup because it makes use of the vertical space inside the cabinet without buying expensive organizers. Before, my kitchen cleaner, dish soap, and spray bottles were all scattered under the sink, which looked really messy and made everything harder to find. Now I just place everything in one tray and the whole area instantly looks much neater. When it's time to clean, I can simply carry the whole tray out instead of grabbing each bottle one by one. I used a wall-mounted corner shelf to turn an empty kitchen corner into a super useful storage space. On the top tier, I keep plastic baskets, stainless steel strainers, and other everyday items so they're easy to grab whenever I need them. The lower section is perfect for basins, bowls, and larger kitchen items, keeping everything organized without stacking things on top of each other. The multi-level design helps save a lot of space, especially in small kitchens. I used a hanging wire shelf and combined it with two book organizers to create a multi-level rack for storing dishes inside my kitchen cabinet. Use this corner shelf organizer to keep crockery. The top wire shelf is perfect for holding small bowls, plates, and lightweight cups. I also combined the two book organizers to make vertical dividers for larger plates, cutting boards, and container lids, so each item has its own section. Now the dishes aren't stacked on top of each other anymore. Everything is much easier to grab and the whole cabinet looks way cleaner. Use a compartment organizer to store small items like sew-in kits, hair ties, hair clips, and tiny accessories. Tiny things like needles and hair clips were especially easy to lose. Since using a compartment organizer, everything has its own section and looks much tidier. Every item has its own place, so I can find things instantly. This simple trick keeps drawers organized and saves a lot of time. When looking for things, do you ever feel like every time you cook, you end up digging through the whole kitchen just to find your spices, onions, or garlic? Honestly, it's not that the kitchen is too small, it's just that the space isn't being used efficiently yet. I use a multi-tier wall-mounted mesh rack to keep all my everyday spices and cooking ingredients in one spot. The top shelf, I keep jars of salt, sugar, seasoning powder, and olive oil so I can grab them instantly while cooking. On the lower shelves, I separate shallots, garlic, and fresh chili peppers into different sections. If you want to save space, get this kind of compact revolving spice rack. It utilizes vertical space perfectly. With just a quick spin, I can easily grab salt, pepper, or seasoning powder without having to pull every jar forward anymore. The spice jars are neatly arranged in a circle, so everything looks much cleaner, and it's also easier to see what's running low. It is very easy to grab spices, even if it is kept on the top shelf. Just give a spin and grab spices easily. For larger spice containers that don't fit on the rotating tray, I transfer some of the seasoning into smaller jars so they're easier to organize and more convenient to use every day. That way, everything looks more uniform and tidy, and cooking becomes much quicker and more convenient too. I really like this rotating tray because it makes great use of small kitchen corners. The spice jars are neatly arranged in a circle, so everything looks much cleaner, and it's also easier to see which ones are running low. Just a few simple organizers can make the kitchen look so much tidier, more convenient, and way more enjoyable to cook in. Get a small whiteboard in the kitchen to write your grocery and shopping list. As soon as you're about to finish an item, write it down. You'll never forget a thing at the supermarket. Pro tip: just click a picture of the board before leaving for shopping. It's so efficient. I always store food containers together with their matching lids instead of separating them like I used to. I used to throw all the lids into one section, so every time I needed one, I had to test different lids over and over, which took forever. Sometimes I could find the container but not the lid, or I'd find a lid and have no idea which container it belonged to. So I changed the way I organize them. Every container now stays with its own lid. I usually fold the lid inwards or clip it to the bottom of the box so that when I take it out, it's a complete set. If a container is cracked, smells bad, or loses its lid, I just throw away the whole set instead of keeping it. It keeps the cabinet from filling up with random, unmatched containers, and everything is much quicker and easier to use. Do you ever feel like those deep, lower cabinets are always so hard to reach? Every time I need a bag of dry food, I have to bend down and dig all the way to the back, which is super inconvenient. So I started using storage baskets inside the lower cabinets to divide everything into separate sections. It looks simple, but it basically turns those deep cabinets into pull-out drawers. I usually organize things by category. Whenever I need something, I just pull the whole basket out and can easily grab whatever's at the very back without having to kneel down and dig through the cabinet anymore. Especially for deep cabinets, this setup helps maximize all the space while still keeping everything neat and organized. Cleaning is also way easier because I can just lift the whole basket out, wipe the cabinet down, and put it back in.